Wow, I was just thinking about something. Anyway, okay, so we're gonna do skincare as well, and I will make sure to insert so you can see what I'm talking about. And skincare. So, skincare for 2026 is something that I kind of sort of really wanted to maintain and get into more so than any of the prior years. And that's really because I really wanted to kind of sort of, see what this skincare glow up and things like that was about. And now we've had very basic skincare routines, you know what I mean? A quick wash of the face, pat dry, a quick moisturize or something like that, lip gloss, you know what I mean? And you good to go. You kind of sort of ready to go ahead on out the door. But a little bit more of a luxurious routine, a little bit more of an extended skincare routine looks a little differently. And so I have some things that I'm going to share with you, with our audience, our followers and subscribers as well. What you'll do is, and like I said, I have to download the image, but I will get the image so you all can see this kind of sort of guideline. And so what we do is I'll just run it down right quick and then we'll go back and make sure that you know exactly what I'm talking about. So the very first one is, well, here's the flow that you want to necessarily stick to. So I mastered this routine and I want you all to be able to kind of, take some of these pieces and be able to kind of sort of mend it and bend it to fit what your needs are for your own skincare routines. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to start with cleansing, tone. This is morning, moisturize, SPF. And if your moisturizer has SPF, then you kind of do a 2 for 1, so you don't really have to have no 4 step. And that's morning, and that's on like a regular slow morning. An extended morning, which is like what 1 to 2 times a week, is definitely the exfoliation. So that goes like or clay mask plus a massager. So that goes cleanser. Okay, I want to say clay mask. And then I want to say exfoliate, tone, your serum, moisturize, and then the second shield, if you will. And that's pretty much once to twice every week, weekly. Okay. And that's really fun as well. So that I definitely do recommend doing. Um, and they have really reasonable products. So I'm sure people are going to be like, it's going to break the bank. Okay. That's why I wanted to make sure that you knew there are reasonable price products. I think I got all of the ones that I have so far, except for the cleanser via Amazon. So, and the prices weren't really that bad. The shipping was really fast, so we really didn't have any issues with that. Again, you just really want to make sure that you kind of sort of watch your packages. Be very aware that your skincare products are in certain cities and where they're moving, so you can constantly kind of sort of make sure that your routine is not at risk based off a lack of awareness down, because then your skin will suffer and then you kind of are going to suffer that confidence because you're not going to have that glow that you're looking for, that you need to rather attract your mate, your dream opportunities, your manifestations, your girlfriends, your love life, your romance, baby's love. My baby daughter is always kissing our face, and I don't want her to feel like, what I mean, to scare her off. I had an aunt one time, one of my littler cousins in the fewer generations back was just scared to death. I was like, this is crazy. And all of a sudden, her mother grew up, and then the other kids, girls, and they just, appear to be just thick as thieves, right? Like, here's that. So, you know what I mean? So just be mindful of things that you're doing. So let's get back into the skincare routine, okay? So in the 4 hours of morning, like AM down. So when I'm getting ready to go, I'm not gonna do it now and show y'all and everything like that. Like I feel like that's a little boring. Like we see that just on the regular now, all of a sudden. So, but I will walk through what the steps are and what those look like. So cleanser, we go in with a Cetaphil. So Cetaphil, we'll just do a few pumps. We usually are making sure our hands are kind of sort of cool, whatever, that they're not like, extremely icky, whatever. They're pretty manageable for applying a product. And so as we do the application process, we just kind of, you know what I mean, go in or whatever like that. Now, I don't pay much attention to my eyes, but I do not just avoid my eyes altogether. I don't like that. I do see the girlies sometimes who have the extendos on their eyelashes or whatever else. So they're not really like, you know what I mean, taking whatever that time out to actually feel like to get in that type of crevice, which I don't like. I don't care for that. So, but I will show you what I do. So I will do that, and then I will focus more on like it's just something about this area. So we'll just do these, you know what I mean? Then I'll go down and then I'll get my forehead and I'll kind of sort of, you know what I mean, go here for a while. And then I'll probably just go on my eyes once or twice and then that's it, I'm done. Um, you know what I mean? Because the eyes are really, 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 really gentle, ladies. So please be very gentle with yourselves. So we'll do that. And then I'll go in, like I said, with the toner. So I do the Amazon Basics hydrating toner. So I'll take, and as you see, when I do my areas here, for the cleanser for step one, I don't really just put a little cleanser here and go here and go here and go here and like this and wipe it off. Like I'll take my cleanser, like, you know, fresh hands, and I'll put my cleanser like probably right in these two. And then I get it lathered, and then like I said, I'll just really, you know what I mean, and go into those areas, and then that's it. You know, then then that's step one done, completed. Okay. And then after that, I move on to the second step, which is the toner. Now, the toner is like a little squeeze bottle. You see, it's a really nice, big size bottle. I don't know why I thought toner was, I don't know, like a thing. So that's why you really have to kind of sort of get into skincare routine and products because this particular toner is like, you know, a nice size, hefty bottle. So I'll squeeze it out once I pop the lid on top and remove the inner piece. And I will use this very weak ring finger. And I'll go here and there, you know, and then that's it. I'm done. I don't really put it on my eyes or anything like that either. You know, my eyes are really sensitive and I really started to get some issues. And so I use Gemini to help me fix some of those problems. And so I do not put toner on my eyes. Those actually, I do not touch with toner at all whatsoever. And I also, after I do the toning, then I will go in not only with the toner, but also with the serum. So I started to use a retinol serum, which is okay, decent, but truthfully, it was the only serum that I could find. And that's why I bought that one. So ladies, be mindful. If you just want a serum and you're willing to kind of sort of just do what's there, I get it. You know what I mean? That's definitely an option. But again, I really see now that a hydrating toner is different from a retinol toner. So a retinol toner is a little bit more, you know, firming because it's been very toned, very firm, very like springy, which I actually appreciate it. But hydrating toner is very milky, very supple. And there is a difference. Now, the retinol type of serum that I have now is a basic one that I got just from like Walmart. The prior one is like a CeraVe, that was a hydrating toner, and it was only allowed for AM because I think it specifically had usage for SPFs. Just a bit of FYI for clarification for there. And then, so once I do my toner with these or whatever, and that dries, usually I will let that dry. I will go in specifically with the serum. So I'll give like maybe two to three pumps because the pumps are really small, but it's really potent. So once I do my two to three pumps, I'll just go like, you know, one, two, three, and then just rub and take it down, not up. So by going down your body. You know, you can kind of sort of hit whatever the little spots may be and just rub it in. It's kind of sort of like getting rid of any excess as well. And so that's really helpful that I find. And then basically pretty much after that, you kind of sort of want to let that dry too, because Gemini did warn against having those type of zones kind of sort of, you know, unfortunately travel into the no apply area. And that's again, that's like, you know, tisk. So drying is another really great way. Sometimes I'll set a timer in between each step, whether it's like just 2, 3 minutes, you know what I mean? It's not a very long process. After that, and then once I'm done with that, then I'll take my moisturizer, which is by Neutrogena. So Neutrogena is one that I think I got from BJ's. BJ's is the space that I had started going to, and I wanted a facial moisturizer. And I saw a bunch of moisturizers, but none of them specifically said facial. Like, if I could not have facial moisturizer, I didn't want it. I just didn't. I was like, no, this is not going to work. And this lady was probably looking at me like I was crazy. I did not care. I needed this one. Nothing else was going to do, and I was not about to settle for something that I did not need, just to appease anybody else in the aisle. I didn't see how that was professional, if you will. And so now when we do the Neutrogena, I'll take it out, pop the tube, squeeze it, and then at first I will say that figuring out how you really want to apply that final step is kind of crucial. It's a little difficult. And at first I want to say like maybe put some here and it just, I was like, no, this is not working. So what I decided in the end is to actually take the tube, squeeze it, and I'll put it here and I'll start in my face. I'll split my face in half. So that means this is like here, I'm gonna push it back just a little bit. So I cut my face in half. So I'll go this way. And then, so you see that like my face is inside of like the particular perimeter, right? So once my product is on here and my face is in half, okay? So I'm squeezing, I put it in here, I put it half, the bottom half first, okay? And then as I put that in nice and cool, I'll go in and I'll start at the top half. And then this way I'll kind of sort of put in as much product so the dryness is like barely noticeable. And then lastly, I'll probably just go in my eyes and then go like that. And then I'm done. That's how I do that particular step. And then after that, I'll kind of sort of just let the product sit and drink it in, as my girl Ronnie Brown says. And after I let my face drink for a little bit, come to me all who thirst, okay? And once I'm there, all right, I let that fountain kind of sort of just do its thing. Now, as it drinks and absorbs those necessities, what happens is I allow myself to apply nothing else. I'll do my lip kind of sort of moment, whether that includes just a personal step, which is just a little teeth brushing as well as a mouthwash and lip balm. And then that completes the skincare routine for that particular moment. And then if I ever extend it, then that looks like having the clay mask, which I also don't put on the eyes. I just go here, here, and here as well. And so that's where, what is that? Step two, if you cleanse, then you do your mask next. So there's in the exfoliating product as well, I also got from Amazon. Now, I based that off price points, and that was the cheapest price point that I actually was able to find. I think that I want to say it was $2.99. That's a hell of a good ass price for being as basic as that is. It is a small tube, it's not a really huge one, but it is an exfoliating for a face. And then truth be told, if you got some sugar on hand, you can kind of sort of just cut that expense altogether and just go in your pantry and use that as a facial scrub anyway, once or twice a week or so. So you don't even really need to do all of that, truth be told. So if we have something else on hand like that, I'm probably not even going to even get that, even if it is only $2.99, period. So then you have to kind of sort of be mindful and considerate of that too. And then if I do now the clay mask, I'm just gonna have to go ahead on and cough that up because those I actually rather enjoy quite a bit. Y'all can see now clay mask with some of the cut up cucumbers anyway on the eyelids. That's even like even extra chef's kiss for real. And then I do also suggest doing the rollers. That's really fun. That really does give you a good slip. What I will say is that I did try to do my rollers with the clay mask because I was upset that I felt like I couldn't get it to go anywhere else as good with that particular type of little massage tool, and that was bugging me. But Gemini suggested not to do that. I mean, not necessarily not to do that in so many words, but it's like a little bit more geared and pushing you towards doing it, not just there, which I like personally. I really did enjoy it. It did get the point across. But they also suggest doing that particular step after moisturizing so that you can kind of use it for that, which also is kind of sort of helpful a little bit too. So anyway, hopefully you have enjoyed this as well, and I'll talk to you all again soon.